Bueno. Vamos a continuar. Podrás irte a la cama a partir de las 9. Restaura moral y algo más. Y ya es de noche. Lo raro es que el compañero no se haya ido ya. No se haya marchado ya para la habitación. Mm, a ver. Que miremos aquí. El sindicato. Hoy no han venido, pero parecían entrar de temprano. Es lo que me parecía. Examinar el cuerpo. Acercarte y procurar no vomitar. Una manera de entrar en el apartamento. Vamos, en el pasadizo secreto del Whirling, quiero decir. Hora del karaoke, una cinta. Necesitamos una cinta, tampoco tenemos. Ujú. Comprar los pantalones. Pues vamos a dar vueltas por el mundo. Vamos a aprovechar la noche, lo que no sé si me afectará a la moral. ¿Los señores están aquí por la noche? Sí, tal cual. Tal cual no cambian. Bien. Sí, ya tengo los cascos nuevos. El momento que hago así escucho, pero si no es que no me oigo nada. Pero impresivo. Y claro, se oye una pasada. Eh, una tapa de alcantarilla, una puerta de entrada al río de la inmundicia. Vamos a aprovechar la noche para paquetes marcarlos con sello de ayuda humanitaria. Oh, qué bonita la música. Este se me quiere dar de huevo con la música esta, tío. Con los cascos se oye que alucina. Mm, vamos a aprovechar el tiempo de la noche para conocer gente. Atún ayuda humanitaria. Prohibida su venta y este lo estará vendiendo, ¿no? Teléfono de ayuda para contactar a la compañía que con la comida de honor por el pueblo de Mosina. No se acorde, caballero.
There are clothes inside. Cheap second-hand clothes, smelling of strangers' body odors.
Don't be shy. These are premium class clothes. Good
Ah,
quality fabrics, best retro design. Save the economy with your style, officer.
amigo, este es el de resacón en Las Vegas, el de adiós, hijo de puta.
Save the economy? That sounds off.
Haven't you heard, officer? We've got to be economically conscious. Recycle your cash, keep it in circulation. Don't buy new things. Buy eco. Look around, officer. You see all these premium goods just sitting there, not getting bought. We've got to keep the flow of goods moving.
Sí, pero esto es robado, esto
Is
es ayuda
this really the
humanitaria.
economy we want to leave to our children?
Esta economía no es más que una distracción de los problemas culturales, ya saben, inmigrantes.
And what?
Esos socialistas de academia, atrocidad genética.
Oh. Look, man, I'm not into politics. I like
Rebuscar en la
everyone.
caja.
You find your hands deep in tattered and faded garments made from weird polyester blends that make your body itch and sweat in all the wrong places.
Mm.
The box smells like cat piss or like an old person with no money.
Economical, but also trendy. Look firsthand.
Económico y trendy.
Keep the economy moving.
Vamos a ver si encontramos algo.
Something cold grazes your hand, synthetic and sleek, a windbreaker. Surf, it says, but also wind, summer, 100% waterproof, and sport, all in different typefaces.
Good choice, officer. Mega sporty. And it's
Nos da
only 450
compostura,
for you, sir.
nos quita escalofrío. Escalofrío no está mal, es como para sentir cosas paranormales, por así decirlo. Está siempre... La compostura nos viene bien, porque evita que nos rompamos psicológicamente. Que sigue siendo caro, quiero decir, todavía no tenemos mucho dinero. Dejamos la ropa por ahora. ¿Y tú quién eres?
You see a Samaran street vendor surrounded by a motley assemblage of goods. When he realizes you're looking at him, his face breaks into a wide, welcoming grin. The name Sileng is embroidered over his breast pocket.
Happy shopping, officer. Everything's cool here.
¿Qué es tan guay?
Everything's cool. The goods are cool. The customers are cool. The place is cool. And one more thing, officer. You're very cool. Bang, 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 bang.
Yes. ¿Crees que soy guay, de verdad?
You got style. You got personal style. You know what you like. You like premium menswear. Look around
Claro.
and browse. Everything looks cool.
Por cierto,
on a
ya
guy
está aquí
like
el
you.
cable y eso.
Take your
O sea que
time.
el streaming ya no vais a tener tirones.
Don't be distracted by the flattery and funny man act. Questions.
Podemos hacer esta para ver si nos da algo de dinero. Ojo. ¿Qué clase de... ¿Cómo que es que pone ayuda humanitaria en los paquetes de comida?
You mean these delicious pre-packaged shelf-stable meal kits? Really easy to cook, no hassle, really cheap too. Buy some, try them out.
No hassle. There's a little of a hassle here, it appears. A moral hassle.
Juraría que en los paquetes no ponían para reventa.
No problem here, officer. I get all this from one of my suppliers, an extremely reputable guy.
Wait. Humanex.
Humanox.
Humanitarian aid.
What?
El vendedor mira por su hombro izquierdo y se fija en el camión como si nunca lo hubiera visto.
A convincing performance. Bravo.
Ha robado del camión de Ayalan.
Look, officer, I'm just a retailer.
Vaya, vaya. Un inmigrante y un ladrón. Vaya, vaya. Y nosotros estamos llevando un racista. ¿Qué hacemos?
Interesting.
We'll need more if we're going to pin this one down, he thinks. Good questions, though. Sharp eyes, officer.
Así es, muchas thank yous. Spirit de Corps mola también,
For
¿eh?
show, my liege. He knows you need more than this to bust this guy. Later, perhaps.
Macarrones de ayuda humanitaria. Claro que necesitáis más para atrapar a este tipo. O sea, quizás después. Ojo. ¿De dónde eres, Silen?
Me? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the past? I'm all business now. All reversal.
This man probably comes from Seaguy, sometimes known as the Apricot Suzerainty, an archipelago in the Samaran Isola.
Vale, se lo vamos a
Apricot
comentar.
Suzerainty calls to mind an era when the Seaguy archipelago was colonized by Revachol. It's a bit of a slur, in other words.
That's right, officer. But it's a bad scene for business there. Too many regulations. Extremely bad for an independent local entrepreneur.
Me da la sensación esa de que el tiempo pasa relativamente cuando los clics y todo eso, o sea que podemos leer tranquilos. Es lo que me está dando la sensación, porque llevamos esta conversación un rato y todavía no han pasado ni 20 minutos.
Hey, why not support this local entrepreneur?
¿Ves? Cuando le
You
hemos
can
dado
start by
al
buying
poco
a pair of
tiempo.
sexy pants or cool sunglasses. Maybe some macaroni.
¿Qué clase de cosas vendes?
Only the coolest goods in Revachol. I've got sneakers, speakers, extremely comfy pants too. Try them on right here. No shame, only freedom.
¿De dónde has sacado estos pantalones tan cómodos?
I'm an entrepreneur, officer.
¿Mm?
I've got sources, buyers, suppliers, distributors, manufacturers.
¿Tienes permiso?
Okay. Good joke, officer.
You glance around the decrepit buildings, the miserable weather.
It's beautiful. Beautiful freedom.
¿Es verdad? ¿No necesitan ningún permiso para vender?
It is, yes. Anyone can set up their shop whenever they feel like it.
Ok.
That's right. No permits, no bureaucracy.
Claro que no,
That's why
pero
this city
si no tienes
and
permisos,
its officials
tampoco
are
tienes
so
garantía
cool.
de que los macarrones esos no estén envenenados, por ejemplo.
If you wanted to be cynical about it, you could say we are here to protect the interests of property holders.
My man, officer, you make all this possible.
Gossamer is a fine, filmy substance consisting of cobwebs spun by small spiders, seen especially in autumn. It's safe to say he's referring to the near absence of regulations.
Ujú. Ujú.
Yeah, that's the main thing about you.
El buhonero del
Freedom is
barrio
great.
neoliberal.
It's what lets independent entrepreneurs like me
Logro.
sell quality goods at competitive prices.
Eso os lo leo porque los logros ahí tan en pequeñitos, los que estéis en móvil no, no veis nada. ¿Algún descuento para agentes?
No need for discounts at ceilings, officer. Everything's already on sale.
Ujú.
But did he first mark them up 100%, just so that he could put them on sale?
¿De verdad?
My man, you know how the game is played. You and me, we should work together. Anything for you.
No hemos metido más cosas aquí. Seguramente que si le encontramos algo más, o sea, si encontramos más cosas para incriminarlo, más ventaja tendremos sobre él. Entonces podremos igual hacer esa tirada con más ventaja.
You see two lowly, defeated speakers, thralls, slaves basically.
Vale.
I can see you've a taste for luxury, officer. Can't keep your eyes off those sneakers?
A pair of Faun Ultras. The design is impossibly sleek and simple. A futuristic silhouette with a sleek monochrome colorway.
Those sneakers, mister. Those sneakers are the latest found sneakers.
Only that's madness.
Qué locura.
Faun Ultra. We're the future. You remember the slogan from some magazine?
Uno en ración, uno en coordinación ojo en mano y menos uno de enciclopedia. Los
These
altavoces.
once respectable speakers have been conquered, reduced to a mere prop by the indomitable Faun Ultras atop them. A small heat emboss on the veneer reads:
Ayuda solidaria de la
"Solidarity
República
aid
Popular de,
from the People's
de Samara.
Republic of Samara." The speakers themselves don't seem to display any magical qualities.
No, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at the sneakers. The sneakers are the stars here.
Pobrecillos altavoces, dar unos palmaditas a los altavoces.
No, don't pity them, officer. These are old Samaran garbage. Don't even look at them.
Ya, pero es ayuda humanitaria que también has robado, cabrón.
Ultras instead.
Samaran trash. That sounds like they're from the Samaran People's Republic, produced under the dictatorship of the proletariat.
El robar está feo, pero robar de la ayuda humanitaria está muy feo.
No
Este me lo
way,
quiero llevar por
officer.
delante.
These aren't for sale. They're bad speakers. Low-fi socialist junk. Well, if you... But see, they are the pedestal for my sneakers. If I let go of the speakers, where will the sneakers go? If, on the other hand, you wanted to buy the sneakers too, I could maybe throw in the speakers for little extra. 50 cents?
50 centavos para los
Damn.
speakers.
So you have to buy the sneakers first.
Impresionante. Voy a ver si viendo, al haberle visto eso...
Everything's still cool here, officer.
No. Dejo con 2 cosas por ahora. ¿Y esto qué es?
There's a pile of cheap sunglasses in a small box.
You like sunglasses, officer? I've got the latest styles right here.
Rebuscar.
These are all boring. Boring third-rate ho-hum sunglasses made of cheap Syrahese plastic. The kind of plastic that melts in the sun. Those UV stickers are almost certainly just there for the show.
These are all first-rate sunglasses. Premium design, superb material, very cool. UV resistant. These will definitely keep your eyes safe and cool while doing your dangerous police work.
Las que recomienda él no. Vamos a ver si encontramos algo.
No luck. All you find is this lime-colored cellophane visor.
Oh, that visor is perfect for you, officer. It'll definitely keep the sun out of your eyes while you're shooting criminals.
¿Deberíamos estar preparados para posibles
I
tiroteos?
hope not.
You don't like it? Sure, Square Joe.
Da uno de
No
percepción.
problem. Let's get you some real shades.
Vamos a probarnos las otras
Abort.
gafas.
These are hideous. What's more, they don't even fit you.
Damn, officer. You look like a mega secret spy.
No, you are definitely not buying those.
Are you sure? But they look so good on you. You should think this through, officer.
Electroquímica y perdemos lógica. Vale, de momento no le vamos a comprar nada. Prefiero buscarle todo para ver si nos lo deja más barato. Aquí tenemos otro esto que igual podemos abrir. ¿Qué es esto? Electroquímica. Y conectividad. Vamos a poner electroquímica. Dedos manchados de nicotina. Es que creo que si te pones la electroquímica es para todo lo contrario, para si te quieres hundir más en la droga y en el alcohol. Y aparte de que he leído que si tienes esto muy alto te salen algunos chequeos que no puedes pasarlos. O sea, como que tu mono te obliga. Así que no. Lunes afuera de servicio hasta el miércoles a las 7:15 de la mañana. El miércoles abre.
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. This panel usually closes the water lock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do. You pull the lever all the way up until nothing happens. Nothing happens. The spring brings the lever back to its
Cierra la
original
esclusa.
position. You still need to close the water lock to get across the canal.
Vale.
Some other way.
Ok, cierra la esclusa del agua el miércoles.
Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
Ok.
Nothing happens. The spring brings the lever back to it. Wasn't there a sign over there?
Exacto. Y este señor que está protegiendo debe estar protegiéndola esa. Aquí se puede bajar de una escalera. Podemos verlo desde aquí. Vaya va.
A crumpled billboard reading, Samaran butter soaks in the canal. Two ugly lines mar the bright countenance of the blonde boy depicted. The sign billboard has fallen on the waterlock, keeping it open, and thus out of order.
Es la mantequilla.
Whatever it is, the boy on the billboard seems very happy about goat milk and butter. The Samaran terrain makes it easier to raise goats than it's an judging by the size of the impact and the parallel lines of burnt rubber. The cause was
Le he dado sin
probably
querer, pero
a
ha
motor
funcionado.
vehicle.
Un carruaje motorizado.
These look like the same tire tracks I saw earlier.
En
in
el
front of
Whirling
the
Rack, el
whirling
que se
mirror.
estampó y salió corriendo. Vamos a mirar todo.
Side slip marks indicated that the vehicle was traveling up the crater at 35 kilometers an hour.
Tejado de la choza.
The black marks on the roof indicate that the vehicle vaulted from the crater to the roof of the shack.
El panel de metal.
The panel served as a takeoff ramp. The vehicle soared through the air, hitting the billboard and upsetting the posts. Then it continued its flight. The sign broke the vehicle's fall into the canal. The Samaran Butter billboard still looks freshly painted, suggesting it took the plunge recently,
Derribado recientemente.
within the past 72 hours.
O sea que esto se derribó después de que estuviera el muerto. El muerto lleva al menos una semana, han dicho, creo.
Still speeding, the vehicle made a loop and vanished into the fog along the coast.
¿Cuál era el modelo del vehículo fantasma?
There are two good candidates, the Caprice 40 and the Linear G22.
Porque el
It's
Cupris
about the right size, and the tire marks look like they came from the skinny tires frequently found on that motor carriage. The Caprice 40 is a very popular model, with bank clerks, topping pie delivery drivers, secondary school teachers, cops, strippers dressed as cops, undressed strippers.
¿Y el
Very
Linneo?
sturdy but light motor carriage. The Linear G22 is not a particularly popular model due to its peculiar proportions,
¿Y ahora
which
qué?
the manufacturers, you'd have to follow the tracks to be sure.
Ujú.
The lieutenant looks on.
Vamos a hablar con él. Os lo estoy tapando, pero ha salido el icono para
Any
hablar.
theories about what happened here?
Alguien tenía mucha prisa.
What kind of car do you think it was?
Puede ser un Cupris o un Linea.
That's quite likely, from what I can tell. Oh,
Puede que haya sido algo relacionado con el asesinato. De verdad necesito más pruebas para relacionar una lista de
we are not
sospechosos.
traffic cops. Should we get back to the murder?
Intentar darle una razón y podemos aceptar la tarea. Vamos a intentar.
You've thought of a very touching story. It's shit though. Well, you're in luck then. Yes. No.
Yes, that could very well have been it.
Vamos a
Now let's
aceptar la
move on.
tarea.
We're not. If we must.
I'm not expecting him to get far with this. The lieutenant consoles himself.
Ahora tenemos aquí, ¿veis? Estos, como vienen con tiempo, tienes ahí el numerito. Grabarlo de la carretera, encontrar el vehículo y la esclusa que ya la encontraremos pues cuando toque. Vamos a hablar con este señor. ¿Esto lo hemos abierto? Sí.
Evening, officers.
Tu amigo Barry está atrapado al otro lado, ha dicho, ¿no?
A burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up a generous serving of salami with an old hunter's knife. His eyes are fixed on a man stranded on the other side of the waterlock and on an enormous billboard that has fallen down into the canal between them.
Vamos a preguntarle lo primero, hombre de la
My
excusa.
friend Barry the Butcher is stuck on the other side of the waterlock. I'm keeping
Ah,
him
está ahí.
company and
El carnicero.
eating his salami.
Comiéndose su salami. No han visto mucha Amador.
From the corner of your eye, you see a man in a yellow shirt and grey overalls waving at you from across the canal. He seems disappointed about the wreckage on the waterlock and the salami.
Vale.
Very good stuff. Anything I can do for you, officer?
¿Alguna idea de qué ha causado el desastre?
I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh? Then again, plenty of daredevil drivers in Revachol.
The words daredevil driver sound ominous to you.
Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything round here, especially a water lock. The rest of the coast is closed off till then.
Es un poco esa era a mí. ¿Por qué la palanca no hace nada?
It's supposed to operate the water lock, but as noted, it's all junk right now. Disabled because of the blockage. Safety measure. Turns out the panel needs a special key to be reactivated. Wouldn't want anyone moving the water lock with debris still in the channel. It'll be restarted on Wednesday morning. You want to do the honors when the time comes?
Desde luego.
Great! Just drop in on Wednesday if you want to see the water lock at work. They say the canal crew will be here at 7:15.
The coast part of the map is inaccessible until the third day.
Vale. ¿Qué hay en la costa?
Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish
La
market,
lonja y la
a bizarro
iglesia.
church. Not much use to the congregation, though.
La habíamos visto
There always
desde
seems to be
los
something wrong
telescopios
with it.
esos del paseo marítimo.
Yeah, not really much else. Just bombed out ruins.
¿Me das un poco de salami?
Sure thing.
It is salty. It is savory. It is chewy. The hangover only makes the salami more tasty.
Ok.
Want some too, officer?
Why not?
Bueno. Pues nos da salami. Este señor era simpático. Lo que no entiendo... Ok. No sé si ha sido algo aquí o si es que va a empezar a llover o algo. El nido de Roy. Dinero fácil para tiempos difíciles. Aquí hay algo. Esto no es a pez. De puta madre. Ah, vale, hay un señor aquí. No lo veía. Tipo de máquina, caja registradora. Busco de una mujer, en la palabra pone Day, en la placa pone Day, un proyector cinematográfico, tumba en la penumbra. Hay varias cosas que podemos explicar. Vamos a hablar primero con él. Ah, la casa de
If you
empeños.
don't mind, please put the flashlight away. Some of us have photonic sensitivities.
Photonic sensitivity is not generally acknowledged by the medical establishment.
Vale. No, esto es mi rollo, seguir apuntándole con la linterna.
Put the flashlight away, officer. Having it is a privilege.
Vamos, que si no quito la esa no me vais a dejar en paz, ¿no? Joder. Vaya dos flojos.
It's not often that I see officers from the RCM in my pawn shop. What can I do for you?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
¿Has tenido algún problema recientemente?
I haven't had any problems myself, though some of my customers have complained about inconsistent law enforcement.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travelers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from. It keeps me entertained.
Está colocado, que se habrá metido. ¿Sabes algo del cafre al volante ese que anda suelto?
Traffic. I'm sorry, officer, but I don't drive.
Igual por lo de... ¿No escuchaste cuando el lunático pasó por el tejado?
Now that I think about it, I do remember hearing a thunderous noise the other night. Some kind of powerful electric vortex hitting the shop. And
That sure narrows down our list of suspects.
Claro. Un vortex. Jacob Ear, no sé quién es. Me cuadra que puedes confundir a Jacob Ear con un torbellino.
Jacob Ove, the great tip-top champion. Yes, yes.
Do you think it may have been Jacob Irv who drove over your roof?
It's a logical explanation. I felt within that thunderous crash a soul plunged into chaos.
¿Vendes armas de fuego como las que lleva la policía?
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
Que le hemos empeñado nosotros mismos.
This is a pawn shop.
Moral
and it
dañada.
did feel as if you've met before. Oh God. The
Efectivamente.
lieutenant shifts from one foot to another. Alert.
Por lo menos ya sé cómo. ¿Sabes si el comprador también era policía?
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it.
Mujer.
And of her.
Pues es una chica.
Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a
Tal cual.
civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it?
A mí tampoco me gusta un pelo.
You're right that she could cast aspersions on the force. We have to find her.
Adon, ¿alguna idea de dónde podría encontrar a mi compradora?
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
A needle in a haystack.
Una aguja en
There
un
is
pajar.
nothing you can do about it now. You'll just have to hope you luck upon her somehow.
Te vendí mi arma.
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia. And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions.
Por lo menos
The
ya sabemos
unhealthy kind.
dónde perdimos al arma.
Of course.
Tengo algo que me gustaría vender.
Let me have a look.
Menú de empeños. O vender mi ropa,
Anything
¿no?
else you're thinking of selling?
¿En cambio los precios? ¿O no? Puede que no. Ahora mismo no tengo nada que
Another
empeñar.
time, perhaps.
Voy a acabar la conversación porque en conversación pasa el tiempo y voy a mirar en internet si los objetos esos que nos ponen ahí no son para misiones, ¿vale? Si no son para misiones lo vendemos.
I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have.
¿Sabes algo acerca del ahorcamiento que tuvo lugar hace poco?
I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery.
He doesn't know anything.
No sabe nada. No se me
The
ocurre nada
pawnbroker's
más.
gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
Probamos a ver si aceptamos esta.
Okay.
Nah.
He definitely is high. Whatever it is, you've probably done it. And many other things.
Probablemente
besides.
está
But you
colocado, pero no
can't
sabemos con
constantly
qué.
Looking at his wares, talking to him, that might give you more clues.
Tenemos otra cosa de la que preocuparnos. Vale, un segundo, Kim. Y auto guardado. Vale. Oachi, chachi, pistachi. Voy a ir a por agua. Tarda un segundo. Y así pruebo si los cascos llegan hasta... se cortan al llegar a la cocina. A ver qué nos dice Kim. Lo siento, por cierto. Kim.
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year.
Aún no pago el estropecido al gerente.
You should take care of that, then.
No tengo el
Let's talk
dinero.
to him anyway. An officer of the RCM shouldn't be sleeping in the streets. We'll figure something out.
Ok. Porque esto es de lo que quería hablar. Vale, voy a preguntarle por esto.
Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
Una farola de Martínez que tiene metida en casa. Como cuando estás borracho y te empiezas a llevar cosas a casa. Cerca la
The
mirada
light
recorre la
bulb
farola.
has been carefully cut. This would make quite a statement in your living room.
¿Esto es una farola?
Yes, officer.
¿Dónde la has sacado?
It was brought to me to be altered.
We are not here to investigate the theft of city property. You have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
¿Cuánto por la farola?
700 real.
¡Hala!
A bargain, I dare say. There's also the matter of rewiring, but the most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary
Vale, ¿qué es esto?
Wow, a very large red t-shirt with an impressive print stands out from the other garb.
Wow.
Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you, a giant sword in each hand, encircled by burning embers. Behind him,
¿Cuál es la
there's a cluster
camiseta?
of cabins engulfed. Smells like worn cotton, and a little old sweat there. Worn cotton with a side of flea market or trash bin.
Mercadillo y cubo de basura.
Sniffing is okay, but please don't try anything on. Can't have you leaving your...
You're not imagining it. Photon emissions? What is he talking about?
La camiseta es
Hell yeah,
alucinante.
man. I don't usually carry printed tees, but this one was just pure exemplar. I wouldn't go so far as to say that I'm a fan, but most people don't think that the man from Yelmdale really existed.
A ver,
But
¿existe?
they're wrong. I mean, even if the man from Yelmdale didn't exist before the adventure novels, the stories have made it so that he has. It's
Cierto.
simple, really.
Okay.
You sound skeptical. It's not that complicated. All that's required is a more robust understanding of cause
Causa y
and
efecto.
effect. Besides, I've been to Kotla, though not quite as far north as the Hjelmdal, and watched northern lights travel across the sky. Very unique, energetic tides there.
His theory isn't exactly incoherent, but its logic does suggest some unusual neural activity. Very, very unique energies indeed.
¿Cuánto cuesta la
True
camiseta?
real.
$2.
That's dirt cheap.
Me lo
You
pensaré.
should.
Formas físicas, escalofríos, nos quita 2 de autoridad. Muy barata. Necesitamos forma física, pero es que también nos pone escalofríos. Ah, no, escalofríos es bueno. Pero 2 de autoridad menos, no sé yo. Podemos ir cambiándolas, pero normalmente hasta que no estamos ya en la conversación no solemos saber que necesitamos. Aunque para saltar alguna cosa o algo de eso igual sí lo podemos
You
prever.
see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets. Try to find something pretty and cool here. Then use it to win her back. Yes. Buy something nice. Big men
Caminarlos.
on big horses.
Franco-Nigerian knights. I used to be very serious about these guys.
Tiene el
A
Warhammer
long, long time ago.
con uniformes
They're not
azules.
all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers.
Sí, parece
They are
René.
variously posed.
El de la
This
petanca.
is what the loyalists look like, yes, at first. Then
Which ones? Ah, those. Yes, they are. I find the paint job a bit gaudy, but
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive.
you're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? Yes, they are soldiers,
Claro.
revolutionary
Por eso los
soldiers.
pintan así.
I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win.
Que lo digan a mi amigo Garte que me ha hecho su putita.
I don't like either set very much, to be honest.
A ver
But there are many parents.
si
among
encontramos
my
una figura chula.
customers.
Everything you pick out seems faded, chipped, and sad. Son.
Todo lo fallamos. Queda esto, ¿no?
The boomboxes on the shelf look well loved and well traveled.
Magnetófonos.
Chipped. One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. This is you. Golden orange. A sunset suite. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech.
No le gusta
Found
la
sounds
música.
and music from a variety of genres.
Claro, ¿no? Una
Even
persona que no le
though-
gusta la música.
I don't really like music. If police work means playing
Reproducir
tapes,
cinta.
sure. You can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape. Is the Harman Welshie W2.
Mm,
Made in
Vale. Tiene un estéreo. Tiene cositas. Vale. Vamos. Que a veces el señor me camina y otras me corre. Y no sé cómo hacer para... No sé, es como si hubiera algo por aquí, ¿no? Vamos a ver aquí lo que decía de hablar con el Garte. Mira, más people. No podemos hablar con ellos. Se ha encendido la luz del billar. ¿De quién es? Tampoco podemos hablar con usted.
Can I help you?
Un segundo. Hemos acabado de... No. Es que nos han dado más, ¿no? Ujú. Sobre el dinero que te debo.
Yes. Have you got it?
Preguntaba si podríamos llegar a algún acuerdo para esta noche.
Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me?
Hace frío fuera.
Game? Everything is just a game to you, isn't it? Good luck trying to use it.
Draconian measures.
All the locks have an electronic component. They have to be unlocked down here with a master key before your guest key will open the lock. Not until you bring me the money.
Okay. I might have something in my motor carriage we can use when you're done here.
I really didn't want to resort to this. The man is thinking.
Va a empeñar algo.
Oh, Lieutenant, we're done here.
Vamos a mirar en el coche. Y hay que mirar lo de los objetos. Bueno, que ahora mismo no pasa el tiempo, ¿no? Darme un segundo, voy a mirar. He puesto objetos se pueden vender. ¿Qué artículos se pueden vender? Bolígrafo de lujo que te regala Kim, las fotos que te encuentras, la taza rota. Y no comprará nuestra ropa, aunque nos deje la opción de decir. No pone nada de... A ver... Podemos hacer un chequeo de autoridad y nos reduce el precio un poco. Ah, vale. No pone nada de no vender. Voy a vender. No sé qué os parece. Si no dice nada de que esté mal venderlo. Si hago clic 2 veces, corre. Vamos a venderle cosas. Y le decimos lo
Greetings
de...
on this fine
¿Cómo es que
night.
las
What brings you here?
tienes ahí
The
abierta?
pawn shop is
Siempre está
always
abierta.
open.
Electroquímica 3. Está colocado. ¿Qué se habrá metido? Extraños precios de Roy. Roy apenas duerme. Actividad cerebral extraña. 92.
Feeling warm
Menos
and
mal.
enthralled by the movement of light, while the mind continues to race forward. Lucky bastard. He's
Pirrolidina.
probably on Pirrolidon. It's tough to come by on the street.
Cabrón con suerte.
A drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
Ujú.
Why on earth? These are prescription. I can't really see without them. Prolidon is just something you know, since the People's Power disaster, I was with the Emergency Relief Brigade. Had to take it for radiation sickness.
He's taken it for mental and emotional, not physical pain these days.
We were an all-volunteer force.
On the patch, gamma radiation lines crossed with a red drop of...
I lived by the river since I was... There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however.
Mucho detalle. Parece que es cierto que trabajó ahí.
The People's Pile was a Type U particle decay generator. Construction began during the Commune of Revachol. Needless to say,
Es un generador
things
de
didn't
desintegración de
work out.
partículas.
A primitive nuclear reactor,
Pila.
also called a
¿Qué salió
an
mal?
emergency valve defect, resulted in steam pressure blowing the turbine, taking the fuel containment vessel up.
There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened. So much disappointment.
¿Quién la cagó para que el generador fallara?
Cancer mostly. No one's. Everyone's.
So much bitterness.
A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor.
¿Cómo
Hoping for
acabaste
the
llevando
best.
una casa de
What?
empeños?
The cleanup happened 15 years ago. I was young then, so I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there. It's a shithole. I said, people, we just had a nuclear pile meltdown. I'm gonna get as far away from Forberg as I can. Still in the same city, but
Gracias por contármelo.
I like the theory more than the story. Outward movement, not vortices.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
¿Compartirías?
Have you tried it before?
The lieutenant stepped. Go ahead then, he thinks. As long as you can walk straight, I don't care. He won't be your knock, but he won't be thrilled about this either.
Pero que no la quiere probar.
If you say, here you go, man.
No queremos la perirroina.
I respect your decision, officer.
¿Algo
What,
del arma?
sure thing.
No.
Sure, man.
Ah, perdón, que no le daba al de
Hello. Let me know if I can help you with.
vender.
Sure.
¿La ropa?
I'm not purchasing any more clothing at the moment.
Vale, lo de los bolsillos.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Estuche de cinta vacío. O sea, no es la... Solía contener una cinta, pero ya no. Y esto es bolígrafo, el simio verde amable. Una bola utilizada, lanzamiento de peso. Sientes que deberías aferrarte a ella y darle un buen uso. Vender equipo de la vieja escuela no sería, no sé qué. Esto nos puede venir bien. Las postales. Y o sea, lo que mejor vendría es esto, joder. Vender algo tan hermoso que sientes que deberías. Venga, no lo vamos a vender. Y aquí pagar el estropicio, encontrar el arma. No tengo
Another
nada que
time,
vender.
perhaps.
Vale. Pues ha puesto lo que iba a hacer en la página. Va a coger los tapacubos del coche y les va a poner 200 oros, por así decirlo, para pagar.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and
I have something here we could sell.
transport enclosure. Regular people just call it the cage.
Ujú.
The cage at the back of the motor
Cuatro
garage
tapacubos.
looks rather uncomfortable.
I confiscated this for a little while back. We can take them to the pawn shop down by the Martinez Canal.
Gracias, aprecio tu ayuda.
The lieutenant nods as you take the spinners.
Y son confiscados. O sea que tampoco son suyos, por así decirlo. Baja para allá.
Hello. Let me know.
Yes, we'd like to sell these hubcaps.
Roy takes the hubcaps from
Yes, these are very, very good.
200
No one was
reales.
defrauded or jumped, I assure you.
Of course, I meant no offense.
Thank you. Here's the 130 real you need for your bill. Do not waste it.
the rest is for him. To compensate,
Anything else you're thinking of saying? Another time.
Nada más. Pero es eso. Y eso confiscado no quiere decir que sea tuyo, Kim. Te lo querías quedar para ti. Para tunearte tu carro. En la vida real creo que no puedes modificar nada de esto. En el juego igual sí les dejan poner lo que les dé la gana en el coche.
Can I help you? Yes. Have you got it?
¿Cuándo dices que te debo?
A lot.
Ujú.
For the well,
130, 130. Vamos a
great.
hablar normal.
Thank you, officer. That's
70.
all I wanted. Payment for services rendered. If you continue to stay here, I just ask that you please pay your nightly bill in advance starting tomorrow.
Ujú.
The electronic lock to your room has been disabled till 9 p.m. tomorrow.
A las 9 de mañana.
Please pay for each night in advance starting tomorrow.
Ujú.
20 real per night.
Ok.
I'll take a room here too.
Of course. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Another thing.
No hemos
Great.
visto más
Yes.
de esto. Adiós. Vale. Veamos. La decisión nos ha venido bien. Esto es lo que cogimos. Forma física, escalofríos. Amenazar a la gente. La verdad es que no vamos mucho por ese rollo. Espalda recta, cara de póker. Inteligencia en bruto. Autoridad. Mundo interior. Razones. Contrólate, mantén tu voluntad por las nubes. Quizá autoridad. Quizá... No, Spirit de Corp voy a poner, ¿vale? Esto habrá que subirlo, estas dos. Un momento. Ah, que estábamos en 4. Venga, vale. Ah, no, que se ha puesto en teatralidad. Quiero ya esto. Gracias. Para aceptar. Que he visto que con eso mejora tu relación con... ¿El mapa? ¿Qué es esto? Mejora tu relación con Kim. Vale, tareas. Por papeles dañados. Vale, es la de el alquiler. Ok. Lo nuevo, entre comillas.
The door is closed. Still no answer.
Okidoki. ¿Y esta será la habitación para este muchacho? Pues aquí nos separamos,
This
¿no?
is the door
Eso es.
to the room you redecorated.
Ok, mejor que no entre y lo vea. Buenas noches,
Just a
teniente.
moment. We should talk about our progress on the investigation.
Vale,
Let's go out to the balcony.
salgamos al balcón. Va a hacer un recap, ¿no? De lo que hemos conseguido hasta ahora.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then,
Now then, we should talk about the investigation.
También
I
fuma.
also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role here, our rights, our jurisdiction, basically.
¿Cómo crees que ha ido hoy?
Well, we didn't even look at the body.
Ya, bueno, que me vomito, hijo.
And there's still much to do at the crime scene, too. We didn't search it thoroughly enough.
Empezar desde fuera y trabajar hacia la escena del
It's not my
crimen.
job to evaluate your methodology, officer. I'm just going through the facts. As for the interviews, we weren't able to find the union leader.
No,
Evrard
porque
Clare.
no estaba.
Much
No
less
había
interview.
venido hoy.
So that's on the to-do list for
Ujú.
tomorrow. We didn't talk to the Wild Pines rep. We really must do that tomorrow.
El representante de Wild Pines.
Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
Que corremos mucho.
It's impressive, especially for a man your age.
Tacones.
And in those hills. Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange.
No
I
sabía que
have a
fumabas.
cigarette every night
cada
when I
noche.
go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
oh
Ujú,
man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
Claro. ¿Cómo has llegado a molar tanto,
I
Game?
mean, this isn't cool. It's an unnecessary trial of will and unhealthy.
Keeping the habit within the parameters he's given himself takes a lot of focus. It would be easier to simply quit.
Ujú.
I apologize, but I only brought one with me. I have exactly one cigarette.
El
every night
informe.
going on. Yes. It's been a long and eventful day.
Como la MCR, ¿cuáles son nuestros poderes exactamente?
They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Rebachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule. Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local station. Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount.
Ujú.
It undermines trust in the RCM. The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We are not really supposed to play any part in the economic structure of Rebachol.
Bien, ¿qué más?
We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station call slip. It prevents confusion and overcrowding.
Si alguien se resiste,
As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in your watermarks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to abuse that power.
vale, ¿qué pasa con la gente que condenamos?
We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts. in Courant and La Delta.
Claro, la
The
fiscalía.
prosecution works off our testimonies.
¿Qué
and
pasa si mato a alguien
which is
estando
why
de
it's
servicio?
paramount to keep them. You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness. Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone, which is for the best.
Sí. ¿Quién establece las reglas?
The coalition government and the moral intern.
Por el Inter.
The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less. Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM.
El gobierno de la
It's
coalición.
probably more honest, yes. Either way, the moral intern leases us the right to keep the peace in this city, and they will take it away if we misuse it.
Ujú.
Or if they think you
Y
do.
creen que lo hace. ¿Qué es la Moral
The
Inter?
Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed. They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS.
¿En qué
What do
creen?
they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by
Dolores
Mrs.
Day.
Dolores Day 4 centuries ago.
La estatua que
Others say
vimos
they're just taking
en
back.
el prestamista ponía Day.
Those others say they continue the humanist project set forth by Dolores Day.
¿Quién era Dolores Day?
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to look elsewhere for opinions.
¿Su símbolo?
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that.
Something kind and usual. Something almost self-explanatory. Something ominous.
Ujú.
Something like the dark blue, serious color of the early 90s.
Muchas de nuestras personalidades nos dan su opinión. ¿Qué piensas de ellos?
The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen.
Tengo una opinión sobre Moral Inter.
Do you?
Creo que las cosas están jodidas de fuera. Los necesitamos aquí, otorgándonos el derecho a proteger el bacho.
In fact, we would need them even if you didn't think that way. We are in what is called the twilight of international law. The laws we claim to enforce come from the MI. Without them, we are simply vigilantes.
Ujú.
Sadly, it is what we already are to the people of Martinez. Most of them, at least, especially the
Vamos a contemplar la
The
noche.
dying lights of the city shimmer below. This soldier is the highlight of the day for me, he thinks.
Ujú.
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, Kuno. It's different inland, in Jamrock and the GRIH.
¿Por qué son así?
It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the union, to the company, not daring to come here more often. This place has fallen between the cracks, the jurisdictions of our two precincts.
¿Y en Jamyor y Jibir?
We run this city. West of the river is RCM land. It's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works. Our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate.
Sí. Espero que ayudemos en
Me
algo
too.
con la investigación.
But I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetimes.
He is very tired, but the dark circles under his eyes make him look younger, not older.
Gracias por esto.
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
¿Nos han dado algo? No, salía aquí como... Nos hubiesen dado algo, ¿no? Bueno, buenas noches. Yo a ti también. Hala, también te quiero. Cierra la puerta. Adiós. Ya no hay nadie ahí. Ahora podemos ir a hacer cosas también por la noche, ¿no? Aquí huele a pesta, ni un poeta podría escribirlo.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
Usar el cortapernos. Para arreglar el grifo y el batón. Vale. Tenemos un cortapernos. No equipado. Pero lo podemos poner.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
Se puede
Like the
reintentar.
rest of you, it comes from a bad place somewhere in the past. The faucet is quite terribly mangled, but you just might be able to twist its parts. You handle the chain cutters deftly. Applying told you that you needed those chain cutters. Everything is connected. Everything has a purpose. The mirror begins to clear slowly without you having to wipe it.
Vale, bien.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. It's barely covered in...
Vale.
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting.
The option to go to sleep becomes available every night after 9 p.m.
¿Y hay alguna cosa mala de no dormir? Bueno,
The bed is cold and
me voy a
not...
meter. En plan, si no dormimos
The
durante varios
sheets
días
feel
nos
at
pasa
once
factura.
coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight
Porque
as you
si no,
stretch out and finally
podemos
close your
aprovechar las
eyes.
noches para ir a hacer el mal, por así decirlo, y exploramos más.
And then
Lo que
sleep.
sí he leído es que te recarga en plan la
And
moral y
then
la energía.
Sleep doesn't come.
Pero, ¿por qué?
Maybe it's the bed's fault.
Revisar la almohada.
Its synthetic filling has separated into hard lumps. The pillowcase smells oddly. Smells of alcohol and sweat. And grease.
La
It
sábana.
barely covers your toes, stretching over your soft belly. This is your body here, intimate and warm, breathing. Under your thrumming eyelids, you see a dizzying array of colors. You won't get off this carousel.
Ponerse
quite so
del otro
easily.
lado.
It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it?
¿Quién lo mató?
Something to do with... What was it that the lieutenant said?
Sindicato.
Union? And it's gone again. Your thoughts lost between the slowing brain waves.
Es hora de dormir.
Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your sleep and images start forming.
¿Hemos conseguido dormir entonces? No, estamos soñando, ¿no? Me hace que todo lleva hacia aquí. Qué bonita la música, macho. Oh, es la bola de la disco. Como el centro de nuestro universo. Ahí va. Un poco oscuro esto, ¿no? ¿Os suena este tío?
Do you remember the scent of your childhood?
Nací en un hospital al que la gente va a morir.
You're not kidding anyone, Harry. You don't remember shit.
Harry.
Tell me.
Ojo. HSR era, ¿no?
Do you remember your wife's hand on your face?
Me dejó.
That's right, funky baby. And you just stood there. One hand on the bottle and the other on your dick. Watching her go. Let it all be dragged away from you.
Cómo me gusta la voz.
Tell me,
La expresión.
where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are yours?
No quiero
They
volver.
were only cramping your descent into the abyss. Now they're gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. All of it. You failed. You failed me.
Muy emotivo, tío. Me gusta muchísimo.
You failed Elysium.
Y la voz es brutal. ¿Qué es Elysium? Disco Elysium. ¿Qué es Elysium?
Everything. The pale and the useless. On the surface. The outer magnetosphere. Burning, furious truth. 8,000 years of written history.
1000 años de historia escrita. Nosotros no llevamos tanto.
You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people. And you failed every single one of them. You really fucked up.
He visto
you
antes.
haven't. You're just sleep talking. And the act is wearing thin, too. The spots on the disco ball fade around you. You'll be back in those cold snakeskins in no time, sweating up the bed.
Ujú.
Stinky boy.
El sistema límbico nos ha vuelto a hablar. ¿Puedo recuperarme de esto?
You're not coming back from shit, thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours, bumping into things and acting like a clown. Who are you kidding?
No sé si esto cambia según las cosas que hayamos dicho, pero como un payaso sí que nos hemos comportado. Tengo la mente cansada y rota, ayúdame, intento resolver este caso, ayúdame.
Help you?
El rol
Why?
reptiliano.
I can't hear you. The rest is just a word dream. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone. The bed rises to meet you. A thin sleep-like state. More glass than velvet. Grinding in your head.
So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad, this dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts.
Un nuevo tipo de resaca.
Some kind of new type of hangover. Oh yes, party boy, and it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you saw. Here it comes too. So soon already. A silent alarm goes off in your head like clockwork. Barely let you sleep at all. Time to get those clothes on, Harry. Time to go to work in the shit factory.
Nos hemos despertado, ¿no? Ah, no, sigue siendo de noche, ¿no? Ah, no, 7:30.
Good going, buddy.
Miedo, miedo. ¿Es cómo va a ser cada vez que cierre los ojos?
Yes. Wait till you see the one with the chick in it. It's gonna be a good one. You feel even worse this morning than you did last night.
¿Qué chica?
You don't know? You don't know?
Una
Some
chica
bro
que
that
dice,
messed you
"Pues
up.
ya vendrás,
It'll
siempre lo
come
hace".
to you. It always does.
¿Qué coño me está pasando?
You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is worrying, isn't it? You can't be a detective like this. Detectives need to be able to think.
Ujú. Igual una droga muy fuerte de estas que te deja de bajón y luego tienes que pasarlo muy mal para totalmente desengancharte. Es decir, que es tu cuerpo pidiendo más. ¿Por qué me pasa
It's
eso?
just that your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some more. You're too weak to say no now. Waking up is the
Voluntad.
worst part. Maybe somewhere down the line you could decline.
No voy a ir a buscar Speed.
Are you sure? Ready to live as this pathetic shell of yourself for days? Basically, a week. Let's be honest, 2 weeks. Maybe 3. You won't make it. Half the town will be dead by then. You will be fired.
Puedo hacer esto sin Speed.
Suit yourself, slow, sad shell man. See how you do without your spark.
Pues eso puede ser porque teníamos tantos casos cerrados. Porque íbamos muy drogados siempre. Nos daba eso como una
The
ventaja.
bed is still cold from the broken.
Vale, vale. Si lo que quería ver era ver si había cambiado
The fan
diálogo.
stands still.
¿La bombilla?
The lights are on.
Vale, no nos ha dado el ataque al corazón. ¿Y por aquí no entramos en la habitación del otro? Quiero
A mirror
comprobar.
hangs on the bathroom wall. It's barely covered.
Es que esa de electroquímica nos ha reventado. Un 3%. Aquí podemos ver algo.
The
¿Ya?
window stands broken. The morning light hurts your eye. The morning light
No.
hurts your eye.
Vámonos. ¿Llamo a Kim o no? Siguen las luces puestas. Igual está abajo. ¿Really?
The door is closed. This door can open. Still nothing.
Vale, la chica no está. Se hace un poco complicado a veces enganchar escaleras y eso. Tienes que darle. Ya está abierto el este. Un nuevo día. Ahí está Kim. Y esto estará a punto de acabar, ¿no? ¿Cuántos puntos tenemos? 45. Buenos días, amigo. Esta se ha movido de sitio, puede que nos diga algo. Y han quitado las luces en lo que hemos bajado.
Looks like we can get to work at once. The Union muscle turned up. They look rowdy. We should talk to them.
¿Son estos de los que nos habló ayer
I
Garte?
completely forgot. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's them by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said. One loose thread less to worry about.
30 más.
And one big problem to replace it.
¿Por qué tenemos que hablar con
A lot of
ellos?
things point to the dock workers union. The circumstances in Martinez, my preliminary information. Actually, that's not a lot of things. We should have dug up more yesterday. Still, we need to talk to them, and it won't be easy.
¿Qué te refieres con los
I mean,
pendencieros?
ungovernable. Martinez isn't exactly enthusiastic about the RCM being here. Men who drink beer for breakfast. There's talk of an armed wing of the union called the Hardy Boys,
chicos de
who
Hardy.
are responsible for state policy. I think it's them.
Son demasiados, no deberíamos pedir refuerzos.
That would just escalate tensions. No captain would sign off on it. Solving one murder isn't worth a conflict between the RCM and the Debarders Union. In fact, even the death of 2 detectives might not warrant an all-out war. So let's keep a cool head.
Okay.
One more thing before we do. We don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them, continue with our business.
Good. A power move. Purposefully concentrate on something else first.
Vale.
Yeah, streetwise. Zoom right past. Do it on your own terms.
Exacto.
But aren't you curious?
No,
to
me
know
gusta,
what
me
they
gusta
have
esta
to
idea.
say about the murder?
They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the...
Ok. Voy a aprovechar que está la señora aquí y hablar con todos. Toda información que saquemos nos puede
Just
dar
a
una
moment.
ventaja.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway. I'm glad to see you again, dear.
Buenos días, señora, ¿todo bien?
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping
línea
to make a
telefónica no
call, but the
funciona.
Whirling's phone line isn't working. The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Go
Vale.
to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too.
¿Qué le pasa a la línea fotológica?
The
¿Telefónica?
manager was vague about it.
Why would he be vague about phone problems?
Ujú.
This is something to look into later. Ask God, maybe.
¿Para qué necesitaba el teléfono?
To let the young woman who's house sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our
Y
friend
Gary
Gary were
deberían
supposed
volver
to
el
get back
lunes.
by Monday night, but they're still
Pero
missing,
no
and
han venido.
I haven't heard from them.
Esto hay que
I was
investigarlo porque este
also
señor me
hoping
cae bien.
she'd heard from Morel. That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully. But you have more important things to worry about.
¿Cuál es el objetivo de la expedición?
Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the waterlock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday.
The waterlock. That was broken. Could this be it?
Vale, vamos a esto y luego ya procedemos. Esto es lo iba a decir. Digo, pues si están del otro lado igual no pueden volver.
Sweetie, it's nothing like that.
Se me ha atascado aquí.
Gary's as loyal as they come. I trust him with my husband's life any day.
Vale. Me voy a contar lo de la esclusa.
Oh my. What happened to the waterlock?
Ujú.
Oh, sweetie, if it weren't for you, I'd be looking forward to another sleepless night. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Vale, bien.
You're welcome, ma'am.
La señora parece buena tía.
I hate to ask, but if your investigation takes you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband.
Bueno, sí, creía que nos iba a pasar eso.
This
El
will
tercer
surely
día, ¿no?
lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect.
El Mothman.
Yes, some left-field scientific research is exactly what you need right now. Funk up that vanilla murder investigation.
And if you see him, let him know
Elena le
Wiener
espera en el
is waiting for
Whirling.
him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the waterlock's been repaired. And it's cold out there.
De acuerdo,
Oh,
aceptamos.
you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie.
Es una especie de científico.
Oh, yes.
It's a pseudoscience that attempts to
Criptología.
legitimize research
Justo
into mythological beasts.
Las
in
de
urban
leyenda,
legends.
criaturas de leyenda. Tu marido es un friki, compañera, que está muy bien. Pues he dicho el Mothman de, de Chorra.
That's one opinion, yes. And people are entitled to their opinions.
My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby.
It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology.
No hace falta que nos lo
Searching for
expliques.
such species called cryptid.
The quality of research at Revacholian universities has been on the decline.
Mira,
But you doubt there was ever a
menos
time
preocupada por su
when
marido y tenemos el boli del mono
was
verde,
embraced
que le iba a haber
by the
vendido.
academic elite.
Vale, voy
Oh,
a
dear.
preguntarle que me cuente todo,
I'm
¿vale?
not sure where to begin.
¿Qué aspecto tiene su marido?
Well,
Gruñón,
his
palmas de mano.
expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are
¿Qué lo
always-
delatarías
Oh,
si lo viese por la
well,
calle?
he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame, and he has
Pelo blanco,
longish white
despeinado,
hair.
The
salvaje.
lieutenant pulls out his note.
One other thing, he'll likely have
Artilugios
all
de
kinds
campo.
of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds. We'll
¿Cuánto
be
llevas casado?
celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn.
Decimos esto, es poco tiempo,
Not the
¿eh?
most numerically
Para lo vieja
satisfying
que parece.
anniversary, but
Al menos
I
en
like
esta
the less
foto.
obvious milestones
Parece que
even
tiene el
more
pelo mucho más
somehow.
claro que luego en el juego. ¿Cómo se conocieron?
Via dating agency.
Ah,
I'm ashamed
una
to
agencia de
say.
citas. Bueno,
We
otra
hit it
cosa.
off and
She's skipping over some important parts.
Tal vez lo
Perhaps you'll
descubras
find
más
out more
adelante.
later.
Tengo toda la información.
I hope I've been useful.
¿El insecto raro que busca el marido?
Sweetie, it's fascinating.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
Quiero saber, quiero saber.
Well, it's
Un
a
phasmido.
phasmid, technically.
Ah, yes, Phasmatodia.
Es
A
que
diverse group of
enciclopedia es
insects
que viene
whose
brutal.
bodies resemble twigs, leaves, that sort of thing.
Insectos
Ghost
fantasma.
insects. Oh, yeah. Here comes the Interesting.
Where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed. It disguises itself among the reeds here on the Insulindian coast, hence its name, the Insulindian phasmid.
I knew it. We're gonna...
It's not made up, officer. I can assure you. It's simply elusive, so much so that most establishment zoologists doubt it exists at all.
¿Tiene poderes chulos?
Yes, it can blend in almost perfectly
¿Qué
among
le
the
haces pensar
reeds.
que está por aquí?
Well, some teenagers making out in the reeds saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a brief article in a local
La única
newspaper
prueba es un recorte en el
about it. Of
periódico.
course, most phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insulindian phasmid perfectly.
¿Es peligroso?
They didn't even know what they were looking at.
Para
Not
nada.
at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully?
¿Es valioso?
Oh, I doubt it. No one gets into cryptozoology.
¿Qué tiene
for
de
the
especial
money,
el bicho
sweetie.
palo?
Oh dear. I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very... Morel can explain it all much better.
Vale.
I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure.
Vamos a intentar esta.
You're an enthusiastic idiot.
We don't have time for cryptozoology
La
101.
podemos
Let's
hacer
get
más
back to
adelante.
work, shall we?
Sugestión. Se hace con eso. Vale. Vamos a pasar de ellos, como han dicho. ¿Tú nos dices otra cosa diferente? Todo cuestión de dinero, dice lo mismo. No sé por qué nos deja hablar con ese tío. Mira, y esta está dentro ahora.
Let me handle this. Detective disorientated.
Her entire character has shifted. This young woman is...
Yes, extremely normal.
Ujú.
I'm not a gardener, but so let's get to it. That's tight.
It doesn't matter.
She says nothing. Her glare speaks for her.
Like I already told you.
Creí que esta
I'm a
no iba a
legal
estar con
counselor.
estos. Lo quería
Do you
pasar
have
de
living
ellos.
problems? What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority.
¿Qué vas a hacerme?
What are we going to do to the union isn't going to do.
Goddamn right.
If anything, it is the RCM. Aggressive, you make...
Just dock workers. Do dock workers spy on the police?
Listen, you moral intern lackeys.
Fuck yeah.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
No como vosotros con los socialistas.
Get sober. Do your job. Ask your questions and get...
Me la peláis. ¿Aquí hay algo nuevo? No entres. Nos vamos a hacer nuestras cosas. Esta gente nos la suda. No tenía que haber hablado con ella, tío. Encuentra a Morel el criptólogo y esto nos lo han dado el martes. ¿Completadas tenemos? Ah, vale, claro, ¿qué es esto? En cualquier momento debería saltarnos el...
In the morning light, the white on blue police livery on the motor carriage cannot but catch your eye. Do something important? Something murder-related? There's always... This is a Caprice Canema, the Caprice Motor Corps follow-up to their highly successful... With its
Ya lo habíamos
air-cooled,
visto ayer.
rear-mounted 12-cylinder compression ignition engine, driving the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual... Even at a standstill, the unibody Caprice
No
Canema,
entendí nada.
someone has waxed it recently.
You want to take a closer look? Yes. An extraordinary machine.
Eso me parecía, que al teniente le gusta mucho su
It's
coche.
nice
No,
and all, but why so modest? Put some zing into it. Helium headlights would improve the range and
Okay.
quality of the visual field a lot.
Actually, I have a pair at home. Just haven't gotten around to fitting them yet. I need to lay some wiring for the ballast first. Maybe.
And means no.
no sé qué decirte. A mí me ha parecido que sí, que quizás sí.
130.
I reckon that's a 7-liter V12 there.
Ujú.
7.2. Supercharged.
En marcha. Voy a llamar a los timbres. A ver si nos dan info.
An old call box. East Delta Commerce Center. This must be the name of the doomed commercial area.
Investigo lo
An
principal.
off-key melody starts playing.
Ah, mira. Ya sabemos en cuál vive ella.
She thinks you're the gremlin child. What would he say to this?
Vamos a decirle la verdad.
A single beep indicates that the line has gone dead. You ring the door. What an ominous name for a hair salon.
Es terrible el sonido,
Doesn't
¿eh?
bode well.
Gimnasio.
All you hear is static,
Que en ese gimnasio
but
hemos
no one
estado.
answers the call.
Ventanas
You
24
ring
horas
the
también.
doorbell, but nothing happens.
El taller de la moda.
You wait for a minute or two, but all you get from the call box is silence.
El taxidermia.
No one answers the call. Looks like someone has melted half the plastic off with a lighter.
Slipstream.
The doorbell. You hear static. You can almost hear them breathe.
Hola, ¿hay alguien ahí?
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric. Have you come to place an order?
She sounds almost antique, as if her voice was being played off an old wax cylinder. A receiver must not be working properly.
My God.
The lieutenant exchanged.
It's you. My God.
Parece que nos habla desde el más allá.
Who cares that you don't remember her? Just go along with it. No, something's wrong here. Are you sure she's talking to you?
He vuelto.
Michelle, just please. Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months.
Michelle.
I thought you didn't care. Ever since I came to live here,
Voy a pasar esto, es que me está perforando los oídos.
Her words. When she speaks again, it sounds like she's submerged.
it's so nice. It's so nice to be able to finally forget.
¿Olvidar el qué?
She sounds like she's about to cry.
No, por favor, no llores.
She doesn't answer.
Has dicho que era agradable. ¿Qué tiene de bueno olvidar?
Silence. The only thing you can hear now is static and waves washing ashore on the bay.
Lo entiendo, no quieres hablar conmigo, nadie quiere hablar
Another
conmigo.
seagull passes by.
It must have been some kind of faulty wiring. We should maybe stop playing with this doorbell. It looks ancient.
Terminar la llamada. Bien, entonces.
You press the number sign on the keypad that terminates the call.
Cilindro con
12
fonógrafo.
name cards on the call box read.
Y es voluntad. Voluntad tenemos que subirla.
Silence. No one's home at Fortress Accident.
Ciudad de la de Rebachol.
Silence. No one answers the doorbell.
El vestíbulo principal es edificio B, Whirling
Nothing
Ring.
happens after you ring the doorbell.
Claro, debería
They
ser de
don't
aquí.
want to talk to you.
Pinball Denta a través del edificio.
Silence. No one
Y sin
answers your
etiqueta
call.
ese de la chica.
This button looks new, but
This button looks new. I wouldn't be surprised if it hasn't been connected yet.
Ya,
Is
ya.
it the dice makers?
Exacto. Pues cuando subamos la voluntad 1 vengo a intentar esto, ¿vale? Porque creo que lo de aquí también nos pedía voluntad. Puede ser. Mira, está la jamba ahí. La rubia está ahí.
there he still is,
Esencia
looking
legendaria.
right through you.
I'll die before I squeal, pig.
Charlene Peque.
Get the
No me deja hablar con él. Voy a mirar si aquí hay algo.
The trash
A
container.
ver la tapa de... Ay, no.
The
Por
trash
si hubiera
container.
algo
The
nuevo.
smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags.
Igual nos dan
and
cosas
organic
cada día, porque la
waste.
gente tira mierda cada día, ¿no? Nada, no hay nada.
The container sounds a muffled gong.
A ver, el tonto de Kuno podemos hacer algo con él. Coño, irte.
Fuck, does Kuno care?
No.
Kuno doesn't.
Y está la tía ahí arriba. Pero ahí arriba no sé cómo se llega. Este señor era el borracho del otro lado, de ayer. Este señor no estaba. Mujer de la clase obrera.
Hello? Me? No one. I'm just a working class woman.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed. If she's such a working class woman, why isn't she working?
Claro, no te puedes leer los
Not
libros,
all the
¿eh?
time. Right now I'm browsing books. Even a working class woman needs something to read.
Bien, bien.
It is.
Soy policía.
I know you are.
¿Necesito la ayuda de un agente?
What with?
Observar cómo juega los
Her
libros.
hands move over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough.
¿Ha desaparecido tu
My
marido?
husband? No, he's not.
¿Dónde podría haberse metido?
I don't know. At home now? Out drinking with his friends? Well,
Where is this going, officer?
No sabes dónde está tu
yes,
marido.
but I don't really need to know where my
¿No te
husband is.
gustaría?
No.
¿Puedo ayudarte? A mí me la refanfifla si tu marido ha desaparecido.
Why are we still talking about this? I haven't.
¿Y tus
No,
hijos?
absolutely not.
¿De dónde
Are
andan?
you a policeman or a nanny?
Vestido lo que te da la
They're
gana.
not miss.
You know where they are.
En
They're
casa
at
fumando.
home, smoking, giving the ladder of vices a chance.
I see.
¿Tu
Thanks.
cacatúa ha
I
desaparecido?
don't mean to disrespect.
For what it's worth, I agree. But cockatoos can't be stopped when they get ladies. It's better to indulge him at this point.
Nothing. Go read up on them if.
Maybe you should. What if the cockatoo is your astral captain? Or your heraldic bird?
Vale.
Wonderful. The
Mi ave
store is
heráldica.
open.
The woman before you nods.
Vamos a ver nuestra ave. A ver si me puedes decir algo de mi ave heráldica.
Hello again, esteemed officer. A book about cockatoos? There should be one upstairs.
Piso de arriba. ¿Dónde? Este.
A sulfur-crested cockatoo sits on the cover. Turns out that there are so many different cockatoo species.
It's a must-have if you own a cockatoo. I've heard they're quite capricious.
Rutinio tenderil opresivo. No lo podemos comprar. Vamos a comprarlo.
Nature enthusiast. Good choice. I
Interactuar con este dispositivo.
A cockatoo is a parrot with an
Asimilación
erectile
inminente
crest
que ponía.
found on the Seminole Islands and in southern Fas a la Mer. This book talks about the delicate nature of
cacatúa
twos,
fúnebre.
as well as in where to even begin. All cockatoos are known for their needy natures, requiring attention. Pet owners also report mood. It is not recommended to get a cockatoo if you're not
Cacatúa
able.
fúnebre.
This is a yellow-tailed black cockatoo.
Amarillo
Its
me
specific
gusta.
name, Psittacus venereus, relates to its dark and somber plumage. This bird looks as if dressed.
Cool, cool, cool. Cacatúa banderada.
The most impressive of all the species, the endangered major majestic cockatoo, is often described as the most, in the words of poet-explorer Sir James Fournier, few birds more. Despite its banging name, the bang-bang cockatoo is actually the shyest of the species, common in almost all Seminoles forests, as well as zoos. You're right. Ouch. That must hurt. Not great for the neighbors. Performing? Yes, birdie. Yes, But all those cockatoo species are so different. Which one are you?
Esta, la fúnebre, me gusta.
You're right. You're Psittacus venereus embodied. This ominous bird belongs on your heraldry.
Good. Hemos hecho la esa, muy bien, pero a ver qué nos ha dado.
Revacholian nationhood. The Revacholian state will be a serene place. You should get a drink. A beautiful, serene place of mystery and peace. It will not be a place for women to infect with their frailty and hysterics, or where the Seminese will be allowed to wear their pants around their ankles. All of that will go.
Opciones de diálogo nacionalistas causan un punto de daño a la moral. ¿Por qué? Alcohol otorgados de constitución. Cargar impuestos indirectos. Quita empatía y esta lógica. Empatía, lógica. Joder, que no sé si nos viene bien alguno. Pero es una hora solo 45, ¿no? Vale, que vaya haciendo esta.
Tremble. The time is now. Taola.
Distinto. Taola. ¿La hora de qué?
Time for the show. For Taola. The hallowed time of fear and disintegration. A countdown has begun. All will collapse on itself.
¿Qué es la Taola?
Disappear into a single Ulogu Theodos. Xeno Zausin.
Estamos empezando Lovecraft ahora. Esto es por todas las majaderías del fin del mundo que he ido haciendo. Vale, vale. ¿Cuándo comenzó la cuenta atrás? Lunes por la mañana.
The moment you arrived in this reality are the first crack in the sheer face of God. Yes, you spoke the words of the Palindropos and the houses of Pericarnassus. Items, people, even words will tumble. All will lose its meaning in the coming years. The face of the woman fractures. There will be herd killing. We all become vapor.
Good. Cool. Pues la otra para llevar tantísimo tiempo, macho, nos debería estar dando...
Hi, Ace Detective.
Que normal.
Are you here for more books?
Tenemos que subir su gestión entonces, ¿no? Era su gestión y autoridad puede ser. Por aquí hacia arriba no hemos explorado, ¿no? Ay. Hay más pueblo. Botellicas. ¿Estas las podemos recoger? Si me pongo la bolsa. Ponte la cacharra, coño. Ahora podemos recogerla. Pa' mí. Pa' mí. Como eran solitarios, escudriña al mar. No, 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 no. Toca eso. Y aquí a botellas. Aquí hay algo.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
No tenemos abstracción. ¿Y esto? Magnesio. Mira. Ahora te violo.
Are you trying to sneak up on me?
Exacto.
Come to pigs come to take me out. Trying to snuff me out. Don't get fucking clever with me. Trying to sneak up on me.
No podemos hacer nada más. Otra puerta. Esto parece una cuerda. Manguera de jardín. servirá de nada hasta que la nieve se derrita. Pues no creo que se derrita en lo que estamos. Balcón con vistas hacia el patio y el arcamiento. O sea que podríamos preguntar si alguien vive aquí. Un montón de agujeros de bala en la pared. Sillas y mesas carcomidas por la descomposición. ¿Veis? Si no echamos para atrás no hubiéramos visto esto. Aquí parece que hay mucha cosa, ¿no? Y hay people. Y aquí está lo del invernadero, ¿no?
Yes?
No, 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 no. Quería tocar lo del invernadero. Gorro naranja, que es reacción, pero no es uno de retórica. Y unos sapez, que siempre nos viene bien, ¿no? Barriles casi a rebosar de agua de lluvia. Aquí no podemos ir todavía. ¿Qué es esto? Aquí, ropa colgada. Habla con el fumador de arriba, podría ser un testigo. ¿Podemos hablar con él desde aquí o tenemos que entrar?
You see a young man on a balcony nursing a cigarette. His eyes have
Lleva
been
pendiente, muy
following you
moderno.
for a
Igual es
while.
gay. Antes se hacía mucho esto, lo de los pendientes dependiendo del lado.
It's the voice of someone who has something to hide.
En
my
realidad.
liege.
I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie if that's okay.
Don't let him go. This could be your witness.
Is it really that important?
Sí, bastante.
Like a nervous cat.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run. I'd even go so far as to say that the view is a little too good, my dear gendarme. Do you have an estimate of when the body will be taken away?
We will remove the body as soon as possible. Now tell us, where were you last Sunday?
Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you?
Sí.
No, not you. Some more muscular type.
And when did you speak to this more muscular gentleman?
Last week?
Semana
I don't
pasada.
know. Look.
He's an actor.
Actor recitando un soliloquio.
See how you have.
You didn't answer the question.
I had a friend over.
¿Qué
It was my
clase de
Sunday
amigo?
friend.
Amigo de los domingos. ¿Cómo se llama tu amigo?
He doesn't reply. Gesturing no with his
¿Me
cigarette.
dices cómo te llamas?
My name is
Martín.
Martin Martinez.
That's
Falso.
definitely not his real name.
No, of course not. Could you please lower your voice?
Vale, ya hablaremos
No.
luego.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
Time to bring out
No.
your secret charm. Tears and begging.
Trash?
Please don't go. I'll even stop smoking.
Listen, I really have to go. Good luck with the investigation.
Nueva tarea el fumador del balcón. Marcha, ahora. No salía del continuar.
No point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he doesn't want to talk to us, then he could be a witness. Him or his Sunday friend. Either way, we need to look into that muscular type.
Cierto.
Who's asking about
Se va,
our
está
case.
metiendo en nuestro
There
caso.
has to be a way of getting inside the building. Once we found a way in.
Vale. ¿Qué tenemos aquí? Alcohol como rojo, 2 constitución, 1 de moral. Ración retórica. Fumador del balcón. Busco un modo de entrar en el edificio de apartamentos norte. Vale. Quería mirar lo del... No podemos mirar aquí dentro. ¿Aquí se puede entrar? Una puerta cerrada, pero la miras con recelo.
There must be another way into the building.
Hola, ¿qué pasa? ¿Por qué está tan alto? Estaba altísimo, ¿lo habéis oído? Apartamentos Veracabo, Rue de San Gisán, Rotonda Norte. Aquí hay algo. Dentro ves el chasis de una moto y las herramientas que utilizaron para desmontarla. Aquí hay una persona aquí arriba. Aquí arriba cerdaco. Ve aquí. Sugestión, pero perdemos instinto. Abrigo cruzado de marinero. Abstracción, sugestión. A ver, esto es abrigo, ¿no? Spirit de corpse.
Yeah, you better keep walking.
A ver. Sugestión. Espíritu de corpse está bien. Y no nos da nada malo, por así decirlo. Reacción retórica.
Look at me when I'm talking to you.
Sugestión, instinto. Hora de llamado de la aventura. Vamos a pasar de ella un poco. Vamos a seguir mirando el resto. Y ahora ya hablamos con ella. ¿Qué quieres? No me voces, que te pego un tiro. Cindy la calavera.
Rushing down Rue de Esperance.
The streets will not flow red with...
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
Limítate a responder a las preguntas, ¿vale?
Ask away, pigman.
¿Qué estás mirando?
The lieutenant furrows his brow at another one of your eccentricisms.
A la mujer que realiza el mantenimiento del barco atracado en el puente, en el muelle.
Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her staring.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
Ozon.
Ozon is an archipelago 2 days' travel away from Rivershore. Its moneyed residents, used to posh restaurants and upscale boutiques, rarely
Oye, pues si es rica, te decíamos de hablar con un rico, ¿no? Era una de las misiones. El representante de Wild Pines, mira qué bien.
She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling she will be very cooperative. You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, you know? Do your thing.
Good idea, Piggy.
Que le preguntemos cosas raras. ¿Y qué hago eso? Mejor con instinto. ¿Qué le estás haciendo al muro?
Can't you tell? I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for
Que no sabes qué escribir.
Have you ever tried your hand at graffiti? We rarely see.
¿Por qué tanto empeño?
This place is so... I thought I'd mix it up. Yeah?
Let's be realistic.
You heard your partner, Piggy.
¿Qué ha sido el asesinato? No me caes bien, no me caes bien. Todos los putos críos de este juego me están cayendo fatal,
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
We weren't put on this earth to
Ahora.
watch your back.
Que sí, que te voy a pegar un tiro como me molestes.
A sturdy metal door guards the south. This could be a way into the apartment building. The door rattles against your knuckle. The door rattles.
Stop banging on the door.
Mira,
I'm
que ve
not
alguien.
letting any more strangers inside.
Policía, abre la puerta.
The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here.
Señora, no estoy bromeando.
No. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
Alguien en la puerta trasera.
Backyard door with the smoker. You already were there. Didn't work.
Good. We had enough problems with bums and drunks and thieves loitering in the hallway.
You're well versed
menos
in the
mal,
kind
hostia.
of threatening legalese that implies criminal liability.
Estamos perdiendo 70s y 80s como si fueran 50s.
I know my rights, and don't.
But the sweeping on the
Ha
other
dejado de
side.
barrer.
Miss, would it help if we offer to show you our badges?
Ah, it's like a carrot to the stick, sort of.
Hold your horses. I don't care about your
Cinco.
stinking badge. Just come in.
Llave del edificio de apartamentos. Aquí hemos subido de nivel. Vale, vale, vale. Bien, muy bien. Espíritu de decor. Autoridad. Estas, es que me parecen muy importantes estas. ¿Voluntad qué es? Hacer tu moral por las nubes. Hostia. Ah, claro, esto lo tenemos 2 bajos porque estamos investigando. Sugestión, hechiza, hombres y mujeres, el titiritero. Intimida a la gente, hace valer. Voy a coger esta primero. Es como ir dopado en carisma, ¿no? En D&D. Oliwi. Vale, si hay aquí varias cosas, voy a hablar primero con la representante. Por si nos dice cosas y nos quita una misión. Porque ahí parece que vamos a gastar más tiempo. ¿Magnesio? Sí. Tenemos 3 y 5 de magnesios. Atraque reservado para los residentes de mi. La habitación del Willy no es más grande que esa balandra. Esto vale más de lo que ganarías en toda tu vida. Vamos a hablar con ella.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top
La
of
profesora
her sailing
McGonagall.
boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good morning, officers. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
Estrechamos la mano.
I'm glad to see you here.
Like steel,
Tiene
there
fuerza.
is strength there. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will.
Bueno,
Gladly.
ya veremos porque nadie nos ayuda de gratis aquí.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode.
There's a trace of irony in his voice.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my...
It's hard to get a read on her precise disposition, but she appears helpful.
Su disposición es hasta en el barco. Bueno, vamos a empezar con esto.
Yes, I am.
No se ve mucha gente en
Of course there
barcos.
are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around? I mean, we are on Le Caillou, are we not?
Aún así no he visto a nadie
I
más.
haven't seen anyone else drive a...
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Ravachol.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol.
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this. Before you do, it would be pertinent to ask other questions. Gather more info on this boat of hers.
Sí. ¿Algún nombre?
No, it's a pleasure craft. My sloop, I like it.
I'm enjoying this.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
¿Licencia?
Officer.
Claro.
The crowns of her nonchalance might be related to something called...
Good.
Háblame de Wild Pines. ¿A qué se dedica usted?
What we do. I'm afraid...
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
Entonces, ¿a qué se dedican?
Pine's core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain.
¿Quiénes son las damas siendo tribu?
Son Baptiste,
Loom.
Elysium, an unknown
Parece que
entity.
está en buena compañía.
Thank you.
¿Qué patrimonio
I'm
tiene?
not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year the company booked more than... And to think, there are years when the group books losses. In the Wild Pines employs 72,000 people, all of whom have families that depend on their salaries. It is a tremendous
¿De dónde saca
responsibility.
tantos billones?
They started as an
Flota de
exploration
exploración y
and cargo
transporte.
fleet conducting trade between the Samaran.
Vale.
Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor.
¿Qué quiere una
Vessels
corporación
pass
tan
through the
grande en
Great
un lugar como
Unrest, You
este?
mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
Los trabajadores.
There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
Vale. Puede contarme sobre la huelga.
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
¿Qué papel desempeña? Bueno, a ver.
First, you'd have to repeal the emergencies. Good luck.
What the man?
But I am derailing us. I believe
And how are the talks?
they're not.
Vale.
That's the problem. The union stopped all
Rompieron
negotiations a
negociaciones.
week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
Vale, 74.
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter 20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Se refiere al craniométrico.
Yes, Jean-Luc Measurehead.
Jean-Luc. ¿Cómo iban las negociaciones antes del
Let's
hinchamiento?
say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks
Hace
ago.
3 semanas. La
Yes,
Virgen.
in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall
Señor
with
Gaumont.
Mr. Clare, the union boss.
El
Mr.
de la
Clare
Unión se llama
refused to
Clare.
speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in
Okay.
prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant
Remuneración de las horas extra es
concessions,
bastante
including
normal, ¿no?
overtime pay
Que te
and a
paguen si
medical
haces horas
plan.
extra.
This time their demands are more
Y un seguro médico también está muy bien, a menos de que
aggressive.
trabajes en Estados Unidos.
Ludicrous even. It's meant.
¿Qué le pasó al Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Bien.
Yes. Extremely. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before.
¿Tus
And look,
demandas?
there are leaflets everywhere, and every worker.
Cada
a member of the
trabajador,
board.
un miembro de la Junta. No sé qué pensar de eso. Una postura comunista demasiado agresiva.
In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker a member of the board. Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also
Vale.
kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group. That may well be. It's not up to me to decide who is king, but as negotiations
Es por
go,
escoger las
it's not a
cosas
12 star.
nacionales.
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position. A hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery.
Con puntos de skill
But
creo que
there's
se
been
pueden
no
quitar.
follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the boya at
El
the
boya de la
gates,
entrada.
the one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, call me mañana.
Mañana.
This checks out.
Los quiroles de la apuesta los puso allí.
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock? If they were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret.
No podría
I could not
compartirlo
share
con
it with
usted.
you.
Ok.
It's implied. She's open to discussing
En
this
otra
matter with you
ocasión, vale.
at a later occasion.
Háblame del jefe del sindicato.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
¿En serio?
Of course not. Everard is
Ya me
fantastically
parecía.
corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
If you were to prick it with something sharp, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No. A rapier.
Parece como si quisiera medirse con el stock en
Oh,
mano.
heavens no. We get along just fine. Yet now that
Just
you
fine
mention
no
it,
significa muy
I
bien.
can't stop imagining that
Es lo
black
justo y
treacle
necesario.
just dribbling down his double chin.
¿Tan malo es?
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
Edgar.
Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye.
Mm-hmm.
He also talks exactly like Evrart does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over.
Mm-hmm.
It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a
Lo que iba a
funny little
decir.
switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
Que del propio sindicato, aparte de los hermanos Claire.
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
A mob.
Una
The
mafia.
Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Mm-hmm.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Evrart and his brother. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
Una mafia socialista, sin resumidas cuentas, una sanguijuela gigante que le chupa la vida a Ribachol.
Indeed. And a hungry one. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the leech always hungers.
Una cosita. Ha mencionado ciertos sucesos en las elecciones internas, ¿verdad?
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Vale.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running
Probablemente
anymore.
algún tipo de
Or,
extorsión.
indeed. The company suspects foul play, but there's nothing they could do. It was a Union matter. The point of the presentation is,
Asimilación
these kinds
inminente.
of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Ujú.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll
Es
be
todo lo
just
que
fine.
necesitaba, cambiaremos de
Of course.
tema.
How else can I help?
¿Qué puede contarme sobre el
Quite a
linchamiento?
few things, I'm afraid.
¿Ha saltado esto? Sí, ¿no? ¿Cuál es? Estrella. Avance inminente, conclusión. Ah, tenemos que estar fuera de... Tenemos que estar fuera de eso para aceptarla. No sé. Me tira para atrás, hombre. Estábamos en la conversación.
The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive
Tarea secreta
trade
con...
secrets.
Tarea secreta.
For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Vale. No tenemos la placa.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment.
How curious. Why is that, detective?
Recuerda, mi compañero mencionó que recientemente sufrí un episodio médico, pues perdí la placa.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
Sí, a ver. ¿Es posible después de una noche borracha haber perdido los recuerdos de mi vida y del mundo? Que yo sepa, podría hasta habérmela comido. Vamos a dejarlo en sí.
I can't hear you, darling. Speak up,
¡Qué hija
please.
de puta!
Oh dear. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition.
Yeah.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize.
Nueva tarea que
but
sabe
I'm
Joyce del
afraid I simply
linchamiento.
can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Encuentra por el grisolo. Hasta que no le muestres tu placa. Ok. O si le hacemos algún favor. Ponía abajo. O si te decías algún favor, podrías saltarte las formalidades. Ok.
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial
Simpatía
arrangement.
por tu amnesia. Normal, ¿cómo es que aquello de esto? ¿Qué tipo de acuerdo? A ver, vamos a intentarlo.
She's a negotiator. Just float a favor at her.
No hay más que hacerle un favor, insinúaselo. Seguro que hay otra forma de demostrar que nuestras credenciales como
I
policía.
will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able
Van
to
a querer algo
justify
muy
it to my
tangible para
superiors.
saltarse el protocolo.
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason.
Un punto de tráfico de drogas. Se están beneficiando de este comercio.
The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over the right stones. Or you can recover your badge. Though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Claro.
Some kind of superstar. They say the world isn't ready for a rock and roll cop. No one wants their state monopoly on violence to be mixed with celebrity
-1 en lógica, el precio del autoengaño, el límite de versión espacial aumenta a 6. Todo aumenta hasta 6. Pero perdemos 1 de lógica. ¿Cómo cargar impuestos? Policía del apocalipsis. Retórica. Los desvaríos de un demente. De sangre fría, -2 de empatía. ¿Qué necesitábamos ahora? Empatía es lo que hemos subido. No, era sugestión, no era empatía. Vale. Ventajas temporales de investigación, ninguna. Cuenta de tribu indígena. Son 5 horas. Voy a ir con las pequeñitas primero, ¿no? Interioriza, hijo, interioriza. ¿Por qué no puedo interiorizar esto? Una nueva ranura para investigar la idea. Desbloquear. No puedo. Ah, podemos olvidar también. Puntos de habilidad. Y esto es cogiendo puntos de habilidad también. Vaya. No sé cómo va esto, lo voy a tener que mirar. Y gastar un punto de habilidad y no potenciarnos. Como esperaba que fuera.
I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchmen.
Ahora somos
This woman is running
esbirros.
circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser.
Podríamos
Either way,
buscar mi
if they-
placa.
Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters. You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months.
¿Propones que no investiguemos el tráfico de drogas?
If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are set. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done and demand for her information.
Vale. ¿Algo más, señora?
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? This...
Yes, reality is your side case, an experimental side case.
How truly curious. A sort of philosopher detective.
Are they now?
A deep synthesis. I'll assist you however I can then.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Sé que todo esto pinta bien, pero empieza por lo básico, ¿de acuerdo? Ah, vale, hostia. ¿Qué es buscar algo fundamental? ¿Qué es pensar en algo cercano? El informe de Kim está listo. ¿Dónde estamos?
We're in Martinez, baby.
Baby.
Martinez is a district of Revachol. You would be excused for not knowing about it. I'm not a good
Voy a
at
pasar
this
todo
place
esto que
used to
parece
be a
más lore.
province. It's not
O
really
sea, lo
a
voy
city,
leyendo,
it's the
pero no
Bay
lo
of-
dejo.
Yes.
Known to the early Rivacholians as
Versión
this
blues.
vast, lukewarm, and unknowable.
Y así sí sacamos algo más de experiencia.
Imagine a pebble. A smooth.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her and to humanity at large.
Revachol, the great
As if it's self-explanatory, beyond patriotism.
history detective. They built this city to resolve the nations of the in the DeLorean century. They say it's where the terrible, by that I mean, we are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people.
Es
In the
donde
middle
viene
of
el
the
dinero.
Incilandic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
Estamos en una parte sin importancia de un lugar
I think
importante.
it's fair to say so.
A sparkle of lights on the horizon.
22 kilometers from the center of the world.
A 22 kilómetros
That
del mundo.
soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacon.
Silence. The water, the light. It's as there is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
We are where we are. I have no true
Es
answer
nueva
to
idea
give,
de realización.
unfortunately.
This is one thought you need to complete. Where
Was there something else you want?
This has been informative. Might I suggest no?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long term.
It's better not to eat all your candy at once.
Indeed. I'm always at your service.
¿En qué tiempos
These
vivimos?
are unimportant time for the big time, the revolution. It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species, those would be the communists. Generally, oh, and the anarchists too. Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
This does not represent the official RCM.
Don't worry. Klas Mazov shot 15 million people in the head. Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse. Or the real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist.
Yo
in
amaba a ese
Prague.
rey jodidos comunista.
Which one? Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time. The liberals got the mineral rights. Liberals are usually middle-class people, detective. Or some were rich enough. They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war
Los
ended.
liberales.
Everyone else.
we, she's one of them,
Ujú.
of course.
Es liberal. Entonces con cosas de liberal igual nos la ganamos.
Foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral right.
Mhm.
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje. The moralists believe in keeping everything, at least not in the same manner. This is their zone of control.
The
Vale.
color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
No creo que sea moralista.
Of course. Not easy to be moderate.
Rooty tooty, pointy shooty.
Pum pum bam bam.
It's the way of history.
¿Cuándo ocurrió este
Turn
jaleo?
of the revolution began. It wasn't
Mucho,
a coup.
mucho lore. ¿Qué hizo el
It
Tasá?
made people overthrow their governments.
Vaya.
Of course not. From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to quarter. Why? You and I, officer.
Something tells you her life and yours
No.
are not that similar. Maybe it's
Ella
because
tiene
she
un
is a
barco
goat
y yo una
and you
corbata.
have that necktie?
No doubt.
Es
But
la
we
zona de
share the same
control.
time and a city-state divided into free market zones.
The clatter of typewriter keys, fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill.
Ulfo Williams.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol.
Vale, ¿qué pasó en el resto del mundo?
The suzerain and modernity. They developed the marvels 43 years. The 20s, the 30s, no.
Más experiencia.
Welcome to reality.
Obtiene una visión general de la realidad más 70. Ojo. Es un nuevo nivel, o sea, la tontería. Ahora podríamos quitarnos una de estas. O desbloquear una. Ah. Esto lo tengo que mirar porque no quiero estar perdiendo aquí puntos. Voy a mirar cuáles son las buenas y cuáles las malas. ¿Desde cuándo quitarte uno es una ventaja, tío? Encima que ponemos ahí tiempo. Necesitamos lógica, sugestión, autoridad. La lógica habría que volver a subirla. Autoridad teatral, empatía, autoridad. Aceptar. ¿Veis? Hemos sacado un nivel por hablar con esta tía.
What would you have done differently? And I asked you. Past less detective
Solución médica.
citizens militia. So a quarter of humanity simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion? Complex folding protein, unlife, with the technology 50 years ago.
Hay que liquidar a sus perros. Un poco de higiene.
Good hygiene. When they failed to...
Opinions expressed here.
And what is your...
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way.
Understandable.
Vamos a lo
They are
suficiente.
what they are. Anyway.
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
Quiero saber qué es usted.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A devourer of nations. And I am an ultra.
Soy una ultra.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing
Antiguarse una liberal. Yo también me libero bastante.
No, not like me. I am the nether creature of the... Are you liberated enough to offer up your home on a plate for financial colonists? No, I think not.
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decade, forgive her, but only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
Electroquímica o sugestión. La perdono.
I do hope so. I do hope we're able to remain collegial despite it all. When the dust settled, the Liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed. With due respect to our overlords, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition.
She realizes her small, cold...
Then for my daughters, we had an obligation to defend our sovereignty.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the...
¿Es patriota? Sí, yo
I
también.
suppose I am. But I...
Seditious talk, man.
Una mujer inteligente.
Perhaps.
¿Tiene hijas?
Yes.
Otros 5 de experiencia
Whatever
porque
else I am. I'm also a mother. And a wife.
¿Qué es esto? Extender tus manos.
A Svenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions? Some sort of krill hunter? Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just... Ah!
El muelle.
This or two. A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new build. This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century.
Vale.
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate. Before the...
Splat, splat.
Bla, bla. Nos está espiando todo el rato esta.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush
Mm.
across her throat.
Wonderful.
Sí. Esto sigue sin cambiar, lo estoy mirando todo el rato. ¿Qué es eso, señora Cindy la
The
calavera?
girl in the old lady rags.
Sí.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infracultura.
Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too... She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat, all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into it. All right. What next?
Suddenly, you're not so sure you're part of the supraculture.
No, no, no.
Of
Me parece
course,
bien.
no time for silly infracultures. There are more pressing
Todo por ahora.
questions.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know.
Preguntas de la
Lessons in
realidad.
basic reality.
Vale.
Glad to have
Verá
been of
esto.
assistance.
Háblame del
The
supuesto
list is
tráfico de
quite
droga.
straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and
Metanfetamina.
dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff. Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at
Entran
various
por el
sites in
puerto
and
y
around Jamrock
desaparecen.
Quarter.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am.
We're in logistics. It's our business to know.
No lo
And
produce.
no. Yes, but you won't get anything out of Everart and the Dock Workers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
¿A qué se refiere?
Lorries.
Los
Someone
camiones.
needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers.
En tránsito son
Well, perhaps
vulnerables.
you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One
Vale.
of them might
Que
be
nos
waiting
hagamos
for a
pasar por...
crucial shipment.
Her irises are light green, like the river Esperance in bright daylight.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
Vale. No es coincidencia que los camiones estén abandonados así, ¿verdad?
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However, this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has
Claro.
been processed by the trade committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge. And the
Entiendo.
operation will
O
continue.
sea, cuando vayan a bajar el este,
Thousands of
tenemos
liters
tiempo en
of
esta.
raw ingredient.
Well, at least this
What is that, Lieutenant?
why I had to call East Motor Tract and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in. On my
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi.
Vale,
But
¿por
we
qué no
need
habló
them
antes
trapped
con la
here.
MCR?
Yes, we did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the union's alleged involvement.
Well, here's your chance, officers.
Vale. ¿Qué pruebas tiene el sindicato?
How do you think they're financing this strike?
Financiar la huelga.
There are,
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike.
with all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide
Están
for
financiando la huelga
themselves.
con ingredientes de las drogas.
Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven.
It sounds like she tried looking into it herself, though she's clearly not the type your typical lorryman would confront.
Vale. Decidido sobre la investigación.
Yes?
Cuidaremos el caso.
Excellent. According to my reports, there are at
Al menos
least
3
3
camioneros.
lorry drivers lingering near the round. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may
Puedo
be of
mantener
assistance.
levantado el puente al menos unos días más. Mientras tanto, avíseme si hay alguna forma. Ok. Eso es todo por ahora.
Of course, detective.
Hey.
Retórica. ¿Quién yo?
Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again.
No.
You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25.
Yo nunca he hecho eso.
Not in so many words. Everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder?
No.
Or do we get right down to it?
Rechazar la idea.
Very well. I guess no one will build communism then.
Así es.
Tell the working man it's anyone. There's no one.
Hasta nunca comunismo. ¡Hala! Hasta nunca comunismo. Narcotráfico. Había entendido nanotráfico del maldito Alonso, que ya está sueño con él. Pues lo vamos a dejar aquí. Investigando el edificio este. Así que nos vemos, chavales, en nada.